Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'm going to go over my finalized cheat sheet for opening day. I posted a video yesterday with the cheat sheet, but I did update some things, so that's why I'm posting this. Before we continue, if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, I do NASCAR videos every weekend, and we've been smashing that all year long. So we've been having a good time. Even if you don't know anything about NASCAR, or can even name me one driver, I do teach you how to play it, so I'd recommend checking those out. We've been having a really good year. So anyway, let's get back into this. First off, there's really no important weather tomorrow, just a couple rain spots, but nothing worthy of being canceled. If you look at the sheet above me, should be about right there, you can see the Chicago and Texas game has 17-mile-per-hour wind going in, but the way that stadium's designed, it should have very minimal impact on the game, so I don't think it's anything to be worried about. So let's just go into the pitchers now. I think the obvious number one play is going to be Justin Verlander. This is going to reflect on his ownership as well, but there's just nothing not to like here. It's a good ballpark. The Rays lineup sucks. 6.5 Vegas total, and he's favored. In the race, strike out 25% of the time to righties. I just think he's an excellent play, and he's Justin Verlander. He's one of the best pitchers in the league, so I'd load him up in all formats. And Jose Barrios, I had to downgrade him a little bit because J-Ram is going to play, but the lineup's still pretty weak overall for the Indians. Some of the guys in this lineup is just kind of laughable, like Tyler Naquin, Roberto Perez. Just absolutely awful. I do think Bauer, Santana, and J-Ram can give him some trouble, though, so I did have to lower my how much I liked him, and I think he's more of a GPP option now. And, yeah, with Kluber on the other side, it's going to be a tough win for him as well. So, and then Lauer's my favorite cheap play. I do expect him to be popular, but what's not to like here? I know he's not that good of a pitcher, but that San Fran lineup just sucks. They have zero power, and just nobody's really threatening besides Posey, and he's not even that threatening. And Brandon Belt, but he's a lefty on lefty, so obviously that's going to neutralize him. He's favored in the 7.5 Vegas total, so Vegas doesn't expect too many runs to be scored against him either. I think he's safe in all formats, and he's going to allow us to get some of the big bats in, so don't mind him at all. At catcher, I have Contreras, numero uno. Love all the Cubs righties in this game, and even Rizzo. I know I don't have him listed, but Rizzo does have some power versus lefties, and Mike Minor's something special. And also, I don't mind Buster Posey against Lauer, but I don't really like, if you're going to play Lauer, don't put Posey in the lineup. It just doesn't make too much sense. But he's kind of a safe guy. He doesn't have much upside. Posey, that is. And then Lucroy, there's really no other catchers I like. I barely even like Lucroy, but I did have to throw in a lower price catcher. And he's just another righty versus Fires. He's just nothing special. I say another righty. I haven't said any else yet, but I do like some other guys listed below, as you'll see pretty soon here. Let's go to first base. We have Justin Bour, one of the guys versus Fires. I know he's a lefty, but I think we can pick on Fires here. He's a guy who throws a lot of fastballs and strikes and doesn't have an intimidating fastball. So I think we're going to get a lot of pitches to hit and hopefully take some deep, and I think Bour is the kind of guy that can do that, and he's really cheap at $3,600, so I think he's going to be pretty popular. Then we have Carlos Santana and Jake Bauers, both on the Indians. And they're two of the lefties I do really like versus Barrios. If Barrios is going to be popular, these guys should go lower owned, and I really like how they match up versus him. I think they're just fine plays. At second, I like Adam Frazier versus Castillo. I did originally have Ben Zobrist here, but I don't think he's going to lead off. I know it's between him or Almaro, but I see a lot of people talking Almara is going to be leading off, so I took him off. So we have Adam Frazier at $3,200. Love the price, and he's just in a fantastic ballpark. He's got some pop, and Great American Ballpark, you know, great for home runs and runs scored. So don't mind attacking Castillo with the lefties. Merrifield is another guy I like, $4,500. I just really like this guy. Makes good contact, can swipe bags easily versus Rodon. Has much better numbers overall versus lefties, almost near about 200 ISO versus lefties. So I think he's a fantastic play if you can get him in your lineups. Great for cash games, kind of guy he is. Gets on base, can steal a bag, get some runs. Then we have Ian Kinsler at $3,200. He's just leading off versus lefty. I don't think Mad Bum's very good anymore. $3,200. He's fine if you have to throw him in the lineup, but I do prefer Adam Frazier because they're the same price. Now at third base, Chris Bryant is a no-brainer versus a lefty. He's got a 349 ISO versus lefties. He's probably the top home run call of the day, either him or Mike Trout. So I would not mind using him. I know the price is up there, but it's justified, especially with their high implied Vegas total. Then Moncada, don't like the price too much, but he is much better hitting from the left side of the plate, like a lot better. I showed you guys yesterday in the video. he's just absolutely trash when he's hitting as a righty. So he's going to be going against a righty, so he's going to be hitting on the left side of the plate. And Keller's weak in the strikeout department, and we know Moncada strikes out a ton, so it's going to help him out as well. Then Manny Machado had to list him here. His first game as a Padre. Good matchup versus Mad Bum, who sucks versus righties. And Machado's good versus lefties, so it's just science, guys. And then at shortstop, we have Elvis Andrus, 3,300. Love the price. He's going to be very popular, but he's going to allow us to get some of those big bets in. Going against lefty Lester, I don't think Lester is very good anymore, so don't mind throwing Anderson. And Baez is the guy I'd want to spend up for. Again, I love the Cubs righties. We know Baez has a lot of power. Wouldn't be surprised if he went deep. Just absolutely love Baez. Then Mondesi, I don't like the price because he's right near Baez, but he's going to be lower owned, and I like his stolen base upside. Pretty much all the reasons I like Whit Merrifield. The price makes him tough to play for me, but I think Mondesi's a very good player, so wouldn't mind if you used him either. And then high-priced outfield, it's pretty obvious. Mike Trout, he's usually number one every night. 5,600. It's a big price to pay, but I think he's very well worth it. He's my favorite play by far by any of the hitters. He hits righties better than he hits lefties. I know a lot of people think righties just hit lefties better, but Trout absolutely smashes righties. Has over 300 ISO versus them, and he's going to see a lot of pitches to hit versus fires. He's a fastball thrower. He's going to get him over, throws it over the plate, and I think Trout smashes one all the way to the outfield. Well, I should say over the outfield, because I think he's my top home run call. Him and Chris Bryant, so absolutely love him. Then Charlie Blackmon. All these Rockies guys are priced like they're in cores. I don't know why, because they're in Miami, which is not a favorable hitting park. But I don't mind Charlie Blackmon, 5,200. He matches up well with Uranus pitches. As I said, he's not in cores, so I expect his ownership to be lower, and they're priced like they're in cores. So, but Charlie Blackmon's just absolutely great versus righties. Matches up with his pitch as well. So, wouldn't mind if you used him as a pivot off of Trout or Chris Davis, who should go much higher owned. Speaking of Chris Davis, here we go at 4,900. I'm never a fan of picking on Cahill because I do like him. I used him a lot last year, but because he's a ground ball guy, and just he was very good last year. But I don't want to use Cahill versus the Athletics because I think they have a very nice offense. But I can't ignore Chris Davis's power versus righties, just like Trout. Just absolutely mashes righties. 315 ISO. So wouldn't mind if you used him. Then the mid-priced outfield, Cole Calhoun. I like the Angels versus Fires. We already went over that. He's going to be leading off. Gets the lefty versus righty matchup. Obviously better splits for Calhoun versus righty. And we have Corey Dickerson at 3,800. Love this play. Love his price. And I love him in Great American Ballpark. I remember using him last year in Great American Ballpark. This one weekend, he just absolutely went bananas. It was insane. And Castillo really struggles versus lefties. So I could see Castillo hitting a bomb as well. Really like Dickerson. And I also like Peterson, 3,800. I think he's going to be very sneaky because people don't like to pick on Greinke. Greinke's getting up there in age. He's losing some speed on his fastball. So I know a lot of people aren't going to use Peterson, but he absolutely kills righties. I mean, he's got over a 300 ISO versus them. Absolute monster versus them. I think he's a sneaky home run call as well. I know a lot of people aren't going to be on him, especially with Dickerson around that price and just some of the other guys around 3,800. Now, and value outfield, Albert Almora. I talked about him earlier. I think he's going to be leading off. I know it's not official yet, but if he is leading off 3,200 with their Vegas implied total, I think that's a fantastic play for the cheap. Then we have Jesse Winker. Really, really like this play. 3,300. Great value. Tyon can be hit by lefties, and I think Winker is just an overall solid player. Love the ballpark. Like I said, I like this game. I think it's going to be some runs scored. It's in the mid-60s. It's pretty nice for Cincinnati this time of the year. So, no problem using Reds players and Pirates players. And Hunter Renfroe, 3,600. Mad Bum isn't the same guy he used to be. Mentioned that with when I was talking about Machado. Renfroe absolutely crushes left-handed pitching, so just makes a lot of sense to me. And then I made an example lineup for you guys, something you can use in cash, maybe single under GPPs. Just an example. So we have Justin Verlander, Lauer, Contreras, Bohr, Frazier, Bryant, Andrus, Trout, Merrifield, and Winker. I think that's a really nice cash game lineup. It's just an example. I'm not saying just to use it blind. You gotta make your own decisions as well, but I really do like those guys. And as I said, there's really no impactful weather. The top stack is going to be the Cubs. I know that's pretty obvious, but just saying. I also don't mind the Padres righties, the Angels. The Athletics can be pretty sneaky, I think. And I also don't mind Pirates lefties and Cincy lefties. That could be a sneaky game to stack up. And yeah, that's all for the video. If you have any questions, you can comment below. And if you want to know anything about a certain player, you can comment below too. I'll try to answer those as well. And if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. And good luck tomorrow.